Happy Monday Night Baseball night, everybody. Welcome, everybody. This is New York Mets at Minnesota Twins coming to you with some mid-game coverage. We're hopping in this game. It is 1-1. Mets and Twins tied in the bottom of the fifth inning, and Clay Holmes just struck out Byron Buxton to get out of a huge jam here. It was not the best inning that you could imagine for Clay Holmes there, but nonetheless, he is able to get out of it. So welcome, everybody. This is MetropoliFins. We're YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel, and we're just excited to be with you here tonight. Just got in from baseball practice, had a little bit of food, so sorry the stream started about 15 minutes late, but as you come on in, hit that like, hit that subscribe, especially if you're watching on replay, so that way you will be notified the next time that we go live. Usually we try to be live from the beginning of the game, but sometimes life and kids and schedules and all those things don't allow that, so we're going to still do our best in the midst of that to do that and be here and hanging out with you. Give you a brief little rundown of the game here. It's been a bunch of opportunities for the Mets, followed with not capitalizing on a bunch of opportunities. So that's kind of a little bit of what you're seeing here. Overall, the Mets did score one run on, I believe it was a Pete Alonso single, if I remember correct. Now, again, I haven't seen all these things. Yeah, he had a line drive single to left that scored Luis Angel Acuna. That was in the top of the third. The bottom of the fifth, the Twins scored one on a sacrifice fly after Clay Holmes loaded the bases with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a walk. So that is basically all of the scoring. Clay Holmes is pitching for the Mets so far. He's given up one run on 2 hits. It was an earned run with 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. And Clay Holmes is through 90 pitches. I don't know if he'll come out again for the 6th, but if somehow the Mets could get the lead here and hold the lead, he would be in line for the win. But that's only if he can get the lead and the Mets can hold the lead. So we're excited to be here with you. We'll give you a rundown of everything else going on. We're currently on commercial break, so you are not missing anything. It looks cold because it's in Minnesota, and it seems like it's just been cold everywhere up north this whole spring. But they're showing some Mets fans in the cloud. This is at Target Field, one of my favorite stadiums to visit. It's really nice. Been there multiple times, and it's been quite a few years since I've been there, but definitely was always one of my favorite places to go to. Justin Topa is coming in for the Twins here in the top of the 6th inning. I believe Joe Ryan was pitching. Joe Ryan was pitching for the Twins. He gave up 1 run in 5 innings pitched on 3 hits with 2 walks. Also had 8 strikeouts. I don't know if I see a full pitch count here. Let's see. Yeah, Joe Ryan had 101 pitches. So a good job for the Mets for working counts once again. It's been a key part to their success, despite their lack of dominating offense, is making better at-bats. Pete lines this one to center field. It's going to fall in for a single. So Pete Alonso went from being the National League batting average leader to an 0 for 8 stretch to now 2 hits in this game here tonight. So it's good to see Pete back. His batting average up to 345 now. By far the best hitter that the Mets have had this entire season. I'm trying to see if anything's changed. Looks like Acuna is up over the 230 mark. And Lindor is closing in on it. But going into tonight, it was Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, and the 2 catchers were the only hitters on the Mets who had a batting average of higher than 230. So Acuna has finally joined that club. That makes 5 of them. And Lindor is close with a 1 for 3 night. If he gets 1 more hit tonight, he might actually move into that club as well. Brandon Nimmo is at the plate here. Vientos is on deck with Winker. This is the lineup of what we have to choose from. I like the layout of this lineup. This is the lineup I've been advocating for a while. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo as the top 4. Vientos in the 5 hole with protection from a veteran hitter. In this case tonight, it's Jesse Winker, and then Luis Torrens, Tyrone Taylor, and Luis Angel Acuna then getting protection from Lindor at the top of the order. So obviously it's still not converting into a lot of runs, but I do like the flow of this lineup. And on days when Beatty plays, put Beatty in the 9 hole and give him the protection of Lindor at the top as well. And I think you're going to see things, if we can kind of get into a groove here, it should be pretty good. So let me get this. We get the banner updated here for you because we're now on the top of the 6th inning. So I want to make sure I have that correct. I don't think we're going to rate anybody tonight just because we're just getting started late. And so it only works if we have a big crowd. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight, coming in late. That ball is outside. It's a full count to Brandon Nimmo with Pete Alonso on first. Pete had the leadoff single, and now Nimmo has worked the full count. This is good. So this is into the Twins bullpen as well. Remember, anytime you can dig into a team's bullpen, especially when it's the first game of a series with them, that's exactly what you want to see. Nimmo took strike 3 called. Ooh. I think that's probably a strike. That is the 9th strikeout for Twins pitchers here tonight. Mark Vientos had a good hit in last night's game, as did Beatty, as did Acuna. But it'd be really nice to get one here in a slightly more clutch situation. I guess there is a light rain falling at the stadium here tonight as well. All right, no balls, 1 strike to Mark Vientos. Here is the pitch. That's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, in case you care, we did just put out our first power rankings of the season. I felt like we got to kind of give a couple weeks, otherwise you're just, at least now we've seen some. So if you haven't yet seen that, there is the link to the power rankings. So the Mets are not number 1. I'm a homer, but I'm not that much of a homer. But I'm also a realist, so I don't have the Dodgers in number 1 either. So you can take a look if you want to go watch that. Vientos rips that one towards the gap in left center field. That's going to go to the wall. That has a chance to score Pete. Pete rounds third. He's going home. Here comes the relay. There's not. The ball was thrown to second base where Vientos was, and nobody was there. RBI double for Vientos. Yeah, there we go. How's it going, D-Rails? How's it going? Yeah, we just got in. Just got in from Little League practice here tonight. So getting caught up a little bit late, but I think they should have thrown home. I do think that there was a shot at getting Alonso. I mean, Alonso was running hard, but he's still Alonso. All right, so that's back-to-back days with good hits from Vientos. Vientos is trying to join the 150 club. I think Vientos probably could have made third on that play. The ball literally hit him while he was standing on the bag. Winker's bat broke. It's going to pop out to third base there. That's unfortunate. By the way, the Mets did score on that, so we've got to update our ticker here. Whoa! It got him right in the rear. All right. So the Mets are now up. Hold on. Banner didn't go back up. Mets are up 2-1 on the Twins here on the top of the 6th. taking the lead on a swaggy Marquee V RBI double. So it's a good sign from Clay Holmes. It looks like he was running out of gas last inning, but he got out of it. So Clay Holmes is now in line for the win. I'm assuming they're not going to bring Clay Holmes out simply because of how much he struggled last inning. And you get him out with a chance to get the win with 5 innings, 90 pitches. I think you probably roll. But those of you guys who've been watching the game, let me know. How's it going, Jonathan? We're here late tonight, but we're here. Counts, right? Showing up. The ball is thrown away. It's going to score another run. Wow, got back-to-back weird defensive plays going on here. That was a grounder just right back to the Twins pitcher. I mean, that wasn't even close. He got lazy. He got lazy with a throw over to first. We were working with that very play with our kids in Little League tonight, making solid throws with a good release point. He kind of went a little sidearm. So if any of my Little Leaguers are watching, he went sidearm. All right. Acuna ends up, Tyrone Taylor ends up flying out there to end the inning. Sorry, there's so much stuff going on right now. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, absolutely derails. That is why you run. It's another thing we work with our Little Leaguers. They know that for the most part now. But that is exactly why you run. All right, we got to update scoreboards here. It is 3-1 Mets. Hey, it's when stuff like that starts falling your way, that's how you know you're running good. So, that's not even right, man. I don't know. I'm so discombobulated, guys. Like usually I have time to set up everything, and tonight I'm like rushing. Like my son's out there trying to finish up his school, take a shower. All right, here we go. It is 3-1. Mets over the Twins, going to the bottom of the 6th inning. So Clay Holmes is now in line for the win. Yep, 3-1. Thank you. You're faster than me. Got all of our pieces together. We are at commercial break, so you're not missing anything right now. But if you just tuned in, you did miss a whole bunch of action there. You missed Mark Vientos getting hit in the butt with a baseball. You missed the pitcher just messing up one of the easiest plays you can make, a short little toss to first base. For Torrens, of course, that's going to not count as a hit, so it officially means he's 0 for 3 because it's an error. But he put the ball in play, and he ran it out, and that's exactly what happened. So kudos to Torrens. That's one of those things, if you only watch box scores and you see, Torrens went 0 for 3, he didn't contribute anything to the team tonight. No, this is why you got to watch game 2. You got to watch some game film and mix it in with box scores and stuff like that. All right. So I got on for Alonso's second hit. I saw that. I haven't even seen the replay of his RBI single. They're having fun with Vientos in the dugout. I think a play like that, too, a weird play where you just get him, but it should kind of help loosen up. It brings the fun back to baseball. Huascar Brazoban is coming in for the Mets, so as expected, Clay Holmes is out. There's 1 ball and 1 strike count here. This is Castro up for the Twins. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Castro. There's the pitching change. If you guys missed it, I posted this a few minutes. I put out my power rankings for the 3rd week of April for MLB. Gave some honorable mentions in the top 10 and why I think that's where they deserve to be. You can disagree. Castro hits that to the outfield, right to Soto. Soto makes the catch. It's like in a hoodie out there. I mean, the Mets got 3 days in warm weather, and now they're back to this cold, miserable junk. Did you get to see him, Jonathan? I know not everyone will agree with me. I mean, I looked at a couple of the other like MLB.com, and they're all like Dodgers are number one because they've already crowned them. But I tried to give some credit to where credit was due, both in the honorable mentions. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. Do you guys think that's? Do you think that was fair for the Mets being six? It was maybe a stretch on the Angels. I maybe had the Angels a little higher than they truly deserve, but I want to bring notice to this team because I've been on this team since preseason. Got him looking, called strike 3 on Wallner. So that's 2 outs here. That's a third for you. I have no complaints. I don't think you can put the Mets ahead of the Padres or the Dodgers. I think you could easily have the Mets anywhere from third. I mean, there's probably even a debate about the Phillies being ahead of the Mets. We got a thing going on, Mr. Jones and me. He's a looking at you. I don't think so. No, she's a looking at me. How's it going, Midnight? This is a chopper to first. Alonso Fields. It flips to Brazaban. An easy one. Oh, is that the wrong one? Hold on. See, you could. Sorry. See, I don't know all the lyrics to the songs. I'm so. How many songs are there that has Mr. Jones in them? I didn't know this was a thing. All right, now I'm going to research. I'm going to do my penance here. Hold on. I'm learning. I'm going to learn. Hold on. Oh, I found the Soul Train. I'm going to post a link. Let me know if this is the right link. Oh, Mrs. Jones. Well, I read it. See, I read it as Mr. Jones, and my head just took over from there. I'm jamming out to it now in the background. There's the link to the song. There's the link to Midnight Song, by the way, if you guys wanna learn the reference. I'll be honest with you. I am 95% sure I've never heard the song. The video's got 22 million views. Yeah, this is that's the Billy Paul one. Is that the right one for me to listen to? Billy Paul on Soul Train, 22 million views. Acuna lays down a bunt, and the throw is one hop down the line. And Acuna's going to get to second base on the air. Once again, just putting the ball in play and letting teams self-destruct. The Mets are ruining my jam session here. Beautiful bunt. These Twins pitchers cannot That is the sixth pitcher error for the Twins so far this season, and two of them have come in this game. I know, that's the thing. And if I listen to if I'm listening to the music, I could put it like really low. I think I can make the volume. I can adjust the volume of YouTube and just play it as a background track. Well, yeah, Acuna needs to find ways to get on base. That's the issue, right? This one is fly to shallow left center field by Lindor. Acuna is not going to tag. So, by the way, we're top of the seventh inning. All right, this is Juan Soto at the plate for the Mets. First pitch is a strike. No balls and one strike here. We're at the top of the seventh inning. Mets have a runner on second. Also, Rels, not only that, that's why you want Acuna in the 9-hole and Beatty in the 9-hole, because they're in a much better position to see good pitches, too. This is the lineup. So this is the lineup that I have been wanting the Mets to use for weeks. You know, I know not everybody cares about Beatty. It doesn't matter. And for the lineup purposes, interchange Beatty and Acuna in the 9-hole. Vientos in the 5-hole. Give them protection from Winker in the 6-hole. So after like 2 weeks of harping on this, Carlos Mendoza finally listened to me. This is lifted to right center field. It's gone! It is a home run for Juan Soto. We have one flat soda for Juan Soto. And that is what we have been looking for Juan Soto. You know, it's funny. They're talking like how it's been such a struggle for Juan Soto. Yeah, despite the fact that he had an 11 straight on-game base streak, I didn't even have time to make my soda tonight. So you just get Juan alkaline water. One alkaline water. And I think this whole lineup is just going to start to wake up here. And what I like about this, too, is that the Mets are doing this in a crappy, cold weather environment, rainy, cold game, right? It's not like they're just getting better because they're in nice temperatures in Oakland. They're taking what they did yesterday and they're building on it today. This is the first time I'm seeing back-to-back games where the offense is kind of building off of what it had already done. Now, does an earned run get charged to the pitcher if he's the one who caused the error in the first place? I don't know. What do they score it? Let's see. No. Yeah, they do. He gets charged for the earned run for his own error. So if any other player makes the error, then it's not an earned run. But because he made the error, then it's earned. It's his fault. That's harsh. Baseball scoring rules are harsh. Unless they gave a single. Hold on. Did they give Acuna a single? And then they advanced to throw. Oh, they did. Okay, so they gave Acuna the single, and they advanced the second on the error. So that's why. I don't know how it would have been if they had judged that he only got to first because of the error. I know on a wild pitch, it still counts as an earned run for a pitcher. So I'm not sure if it's a throwing error by the pitcher, if that would still be. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes once again to Pete Alonso, and he takes ball 4 for a walk. So Pete Alonso is on base 4 straight at bats. I've only been streaming for 25 minutes, and I've seen Pete Alonso get on base twice in the last 25 minutes. Everybody looks so cold. So Swimmo, Brandon, Nimmo. The Mets are still kind of low on hits. They've taken advantage of the atrocious Twins defense so far. First pitch is a strike, no balls, and 1 strike to Swimmo, Brandon, Nimmo. Appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out with us here tonight. Ooh, not like super late, not West Coast late, but still kind of late, later than normal. Mets are beating the Twins 5-1 here in the top of the 7th inning with a runner on first. Pete Alonso just got a walk. There's only 1 out so far. That ball's in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nimmo. Midnight, you made $95 on 4 orders. Hey, that is a good day. I'm doing well. We just got back from Little League practice. That's why I missed the start of the game. Practice went till 8:30, plus time to get home and eat and help get my kid ready for bed. I did about the same for deliveries. It was pretty slow overall, but that was like this morning into this afternoon. It's the time of the year where it starts to slow down in my market, so I probably need to take more deliveries than that one's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got to get my taxes finished tomorrow. Tax day. All right, here's the 2-2 pitch to Nimmo. Nimmo rips that one down the first base line. Fielded at first, thrown to second, thrown back to first. I guess it looked close, but I guess the Mets aren't going to challenge that. I thought maybe Nimmo had a chance. I know. Wow, that's you can see where your priority is in my life, guys. Put my family above you. Truth comes out. So the other thing that's kind of cool is we switched leagues this year, but a lot of his friends are still in the old league, but they're the next level up. But they were playing a game at our field complex tonight, so he got to see a bunch of his old teammates that he hadn't seen in like a year because they were there and playing the game. So we got to watch them for a few minutes before his practice started too. So he was excited about that. But all right, we are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning now. It is 5-1 Mets over the Twins. Juan Soto is at 250. So we are now at the point. We have 5 players who are in the 250 plus club, I believe. I'd actually have to hold on. Let me see if Sanger's theirs. Yes. The Mets now have 5 position players who are hitting 250 or higher on the season. They came into the game having 4 hitting 230 or higher, but Acuna has joined the group. Now, Acuna has not had the number of at-bats as the other players, so his batting average is more volatile than the others. But a 2-for-2 night early in the season will almost always bring your batting average up. Lindor was getting close, but he's back down to 224, so it's going to need a couple more hits to get up to that 250. All right, we are back here. Brazoban's going to stay in the game for the Mets. So it was a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 6th. So we'll see what Brazoban can do. It's 2-0 quickly. That second pitch looked pretty good, but it's 2-0. This is Trevor Larnick up for the Twins. 2 balls and 1 strike now is the count. We'll see if Brazovan can have another good inning here. We're beyond a save situation, so that's inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. All right. Still getting over this cold a little bit, so the voice might get a little raspy. And Larnick walks there. 5-pitch walk. So Clay Holmes got the strikeouts going on tonight. The 5th inning, he kind of ran out of gas, had a couple of walks, hit a batter. They ended up only giving 1 run. The Mets took the lead in the top of the 6th, so Holmes is in line for the win. Not going to complain about that performance, especially in this type of weather when the ball's probably not the easiest to grip. It's cold, it's wet. I know it's not fun for hitters, but it's also not fun for pitchers. France grounds it to Lindor, to Acuna, makes the turn to Alonso, and the double play clears the bases. So there's now 2 outs here. First pitch is low here. This is Brooks Lee at the plate for the Twins now. No balls, 1 strike. I have probably attended more Twins games than any other baseball team. In fact, I can say with certainty I've attended more Twins games than any other team because when I lived in Minnesota, when you could back in the early 2000s, you could get pretty cheap tickets, $10 tickets on student night when I was in college. And then you would combine that with like $1 a hot dog night. You know, back when parking was like $10, you could get like 5 hot dogs at a stadium, all in like $25 for parking tickets. That's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on the check swing. Brooks Lee grounds it to second. Acuna fields it, throws it over to Pete. Not quite a 1-2-3 inning, but he faces the minimum once again. And overall, we'll call that an easy inning. So it is now 5-1. Mets already going to the top of the 8th. So unlike some of the other Mets games, the second half of this game is absolutely flying. By the way, I didn't have any time to get set up for doing raids and stuff tonight. So we'll save that for games where we're here from the beginning. Tomorrow night's game and Wednesday's game are both kind of up in the air as to whether or not we're going to cover them. So remains to be seen. Got to make sure I get my taxes finished before tomorrow. So that's a key thing. Or by tomorrow. And then we will continue to push forward from there. See why I got to make some money this week too. You know, it's like midway through the month, it's like got to make sure all that rent money is there because rent is coming due. So we'll see. All right, we got a thing. Before the Rockies were a thing, Denver had a minor league team named the Zephyrs. You make about 40 to 50 games a year. That's awesome. Yeah, there was one summer. So I'm trying to remember. So I did college in 3 years. I was an overachiever. Honestly, it just had to do with the fact that I didn't want to go into debt, which is ironic because I'm in debt now, but I didn't want to go into debt for college. So I just forced myself to get done in 3 years before the money ran out. And so I had an internship after my second year, which was kind of like my sophomore, junior year, kind of comboed them into one. And I probably went to two Twins games a week that whole summer because I was living, 45 minutes from the stadium. And, we pool together, everybody pitch in for parking. So everybody throws in between $2 to $5 for parking, depending on how ritzy you wanted to park. You also have the Maybe that's Colorado Springs has the Sky Sox. Where are the Sky Sox? Are they from Colorado Springs? I know they're out there somewhere. I've been to quite a few Mets games as well, and um, by default, quite a few Phillies games because when I was younger, we lived in New Jersey. Where we were, it was just faster and easier, and we had family in Pennsylvania, so and they were Phillies fans, so it was faster and easier to go to the old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. So that was where we went to the majority of Mets games. We would just wait till the Mets went to Philly, and then we would schedule a meetup over there, and we'd drive an hour, and family would drive an hour, and we'd all meet up there, and it was kind of a perfect. I didn't get to go to the old Shea Stadium once, but we would go to about one Mets Phillies games a year in Philadelphia. So that's probably the stadium I visited the second most is Veterans Stadium. I've been to a couple of Marlins games in their old park, the old Joe Robbie, whatever it is now. I can't keep track of that stadium. Dolphin Stadium. You know. This is Swaggy Marky V at the plate here, by the way, in top of the eighth, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thunderbird. Such a great name. Let's go Mets, baby. How's it going, Darren? Mets are rocking and rolling here tonight. That's outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 Vientos. That's called strike 3 on Vientos. That was a tough pitch. That was a tough. It was a good pitch. Tough pitch. All right, Jesse Winker at the plate. So Brazaban's pitched 2 innings, but only 20 pitches so far. I guess they're saying someone is warming up in the Mets bullpen, but there's definitely a chance that Brazaban could at least come out to start the 8th inning and then go from there. Gotcha. There you go. Dropping the knowledge. I just remember I was out in Colorado Springs one time and heard about the Sky Sox. Never got to go to a game or anything, but I just knew that was somewhere in Colorado. Reed Garrett is warming up for the Mets. Ugh. So, like I mentioned before, if you haven't seen it yet, I did put out my first power rankings for the MLB season. So that's the link. It's like my first comment. If you scroll all the way, I can pin it. Let me just pin that for you guys. That'll be easier than me just putting on the screen. And I know some of you guys can't. If you click it, you leave the stream. So I understand that, but it's there if you just look under my other. Look under the videos. Put it out. I did a few honorable mentions in the top 10. So that is available. Let me see if I can just pin in the chat for those of you who care. For those of you who don't, I don't care either. Just want to let you know that it's there. All right. So it is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jesse Winker. Top of the 8th, 1 out. Vientos already struck out this inning. The Mets are up 5-1. Thunderbird is pitching. Winker fouls that one, spoils another good pitch. I like saying this kid's name, Thunderbird. Thunderbird. There used to be a hotel in either Minneapolis or St. Paul known as the Thunderbird. So it kind of reminds me of that. Thunderbird. Rockies are, yeah, they're at number one if you turn the list upside down midnight. All you got to do is just flip the list. I didn't even worry about ranking the bottom of the bottom. Oh, Winker just got called out on a pitch clock violation. By the way, I still don't like the pitch clock rules. I think Diaz is still the closer. Yeah, I think you're going to try to work through the kinks of what it is. This is, you know, these guys need repetitions. I don't think. I mean, yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't expect them to use Diaz today. I think part of this is like it's just part of being that major league closer is you just got to work through those hard times. Diaz has had those hard times, and I'm not saying that this is the excuse, but remember Diaz got started a lot later in spring training than most of the other relievers did. So Diaz is kind of like just now getting to the amount of reps that the other pitchers did. Torrens rounds it out to Ty France. Torrens slams his helmet. That's kind of weird. I mean, I understand like you're frustrated, but I don't think that's really a reasonable response. They made a good play. So, and now in the background, my because we were watching that one Soul Train video. Now it's just like got me on a playlist of Soul Train. You care about the Rockies as much as the owners do, so ain't that the truth? That's always the hard part about being a Dolphins fan. Is like, man, it's hard. Why do I care more than the owner does? Always is a kind of a difficult situation that fans are in. All right. Well, with that being said, the Mets don't score. It's the first inning out of the last three. The Mets didn't score, so we're at the bottom of the eighth inning. Our commercial break right now. We'll see if Brazaban comes out as of right now. No, we are going to get the pitching change. So Brazaban could have gone, but thinking with a good 2 innings, the cold, rainy weather, don't want to risk injury or anything like that. Yeah, I know. And this was not like the Soul Train I watched, because I remember watching like the late 80s, early 90s. This was like 70s Soul Train. I forget what it was, but like I don't remember if it came on. I think right before American Gladiators came on, Soul Train was on. So I would tune in, because I didn't want to miss American Gladiators when I was a kid. And so I would just tune it in, like Soul Train would be on. Like I had no understanding as to what like Soul Train was, because I'm the whitest of white boys that there possibly is. So that was like really some of my first introduction to R&B and kind of reggae style. A lot of that music, the first time I ever heard any of that was on Soul Train. It was either right before or right after American Gladiators. It was one or the other. But yeah. And like I said, I had no clue what I was watching back in the day. like, this is different. I have not heard these songs. So Reed Garrett is in. Christian Vasquez is up. First pitch is a strike by Reed Garrett. I like seeing that. Looking at Christian Vasquez's helmet, looks like it's covered in about 20 layers of chewing tobacco. It's so gross. That helmet used to be white. It's like brown. Nice pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reed Garrett pitching here. Yeah, Acuna and Pete. Pete, and I mean, of course, Soto. Soto with a home run, but Pete's been on base 4 times, and Acuna's like created some mayhem on the bases. Absolutely. Vitalik, how's it going? Hope you're doing awesome here tonight. Soul Train and In Living Color both shows that you love, despite, I mean, yeah, I definitely was not the target demographic. You know, like 8 to 12-year-old suburban white boy. Foul tip held by Turan, so it's going to be strike 3. And that is going to retire Vasquez. So 1 up, 1 down for Reed Garrett. Like I said, I'm still recovering from a cold, so before I have to deal with like gross things on camera, I'm going to be right back with you. Hold on. All right, we're back with you here. 1 ball and 1 strike to Edward Julian. There's a hello to Vitalik from Midnight, and a hello from Vitalik to everyone. That one is just fouled down the line. So we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's 1 out. Reed Garrett pitching for the Mets. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here today. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. And if you haven't yet seen it, the pinned link is my power rankings for the 3rd week of April for Major League Baseball. So I also did a deep dive on a song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So a couple of videos that have actually done better than average on this channel. So I'm just going to keep trying to follow the direction that people want to go with the channel, and they tell by the views, oh, beautiful pitch for called strike 3 by Reed Garrett. Back-to-back strikeouts for Reed Garrett. All right. Byron Buxton is at the plate. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Reed Garrett's going to try to cause the golden sombrero. That's called strike. No balls and 2 strikes on Buxton. They're having still fun with this whole Thunderberg name. That one is low, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Buxton. Buxton has 3 strikeouts. Reed Garrett's trying to give him the golden sombrero. Juan Soto looks so cold. That's also a ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buxton hits this ball, flies out to shallow center field, but Tyrone Taylor's able to get under it and retire the side. So 1-2-3 inning, but Buxton avoids the golden sombrero. So that, believe it or not, is the end of the 8th inning. We are headed to the top of the 9th inning. Due up for the Mets. Now they can always sub in whoever they want, though I don't imagine they would really do anything here. Tyrone Taylor, Luis Angel Acuna, and Francisco Lindor are due up. So we are currently at commercial break, so you are not missing anything. Appreciate each and every one of you. Yes. I mean, that was just as I was getting in, so I didn't see exactly, but I saw it was like a walk, a hit by a pitch, and a walk, and then a sacrifice fly to give up the run. But to get out of it from there when you're he was obviously gassed, he was spent. I've noticed that not just from Holmes tonight, but from numerous Mets pitchers throughout this season, and guys that used to kind of break at those points, like Peterson and McGill. They're finding that extra gear to figure out how to get that last out, or how to turn a or keep a bad inning from turning into a horrible inning. So I've noticed that just kind of multiple times throughout this season. It's been a key part as to why this team and this pitching staff has been doing so well. So we're headed to the top of the 9th inning. We'll see if the Mets can put anything else on the board. Reed Garrett, I'm sure, could pitch again. I wonder if they could also go Danny Young here. I don't know. So Funderburk is still pitching. Funderburk is still pitching for the Twins. Tyrone Taylor is up for the Mets. That ball's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're super behind. It's all good, Beatles. It's all good. And there's the hello back to you, Midnight. It happens to me sometimes, and I have the chat in front of me, and I'm streaming, and there's sometimes I I'll look up, and I'm like, there's no new messages on my screen, but I see like 2 or 3 that I haven't even mentioned yet, and probably just selective viewing. Taylor fouls that one and fouled it off of the catcher's hand. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we've got a little bit of an injury timeout. The lightning and the thunder, Thunderberg. I got that song reference right. I knew that one. I'm cultured. I'm so bad at I didn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was until the Super Bowl. That's how ignorant I am of pop culture stuff. I mean, I'd heard the name, but I didn't know any of his songs. Would not have been able to pick him out of a lineup of people to tell you oh yeah, that's Kendrick Lamar. I know so little about pop culture, so little about any modern movies. I just don't do any of that stuff for the most part. My pop culture knowledge ends around 2010, right before I had kids. Well, right before I got married and had kids. My pop culture knowledge was good while I was a bachelor. Once I got married and had kids. Now, I do know some of the language that the youngins use, like skibbity toilet and stuff like that. I'm up on that stuff. Low key, skibbity toilet, sus. I can speak with the best of the The best of the youngins out there. So we're having a change here of catchers because they're going to pull their catcher out with that injury from the foul ball, Vasquez. So that's what we're waiting for. I'm not just filling this with noise because it's boring. So some people feel that way about baseball, but lightning and the thunder. Now the song's gonna be stuck in my head. All right. Mickey Gasper is the new catcher for the Twins. So Ryan Jeffers is their normal backup catcher, but I guess he's had a sore thumb, so he's not coming in. So Gasper, who normally plays second base, he's like their emergency catcher. This is his first major league appearance as catcher. So congrats to you, Mickey Gasper. I think that's kind of cool. Obviously, you never want to see people get hurt, but he's caught 114 games in the minor leagues. I don't expect the Mets will be running on him anyway. We don't even have a base runner yet. All right, let me reset where we're at. It's 5-1 Mets, top of the ninth inning, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tyrone Taylor, and he takes that pitch and he fouls it down the first base line, and that's going to be out of play. The Twins just had a catcher change. I don't know what you want to call that. On deck is Luis Angel Acuna, followed by Francisco Lindor. The Mets are up 5-1. Grounder to shortstop. Makes the throw across. And Tyrone Taylor is going to be retired for the first out in the top of the ninth inning. Luis Angel Acuna has had a great game tonight. He is 2 for 2. First pitch is a strike. He's 2 for 2, but he has been on base all 3 times. He have a walk. Is that what his other? Yeah, 2 for 2 with a walk. Ooh, that was low. They called it a strike, so it's going to be no balls and 2 strikes. He also has a stolen base, 2 runs scored, so great. I would say probably the best game of Acuna's season so far this year. He chops this one, and he's going to be thrown out at first there. That'll be 2 outs. Francisco Lindor. It hits, and I think it's the way they say thunder on all those different ways, and my brain and my mouth try to say it like that. Oh, yeah, no. Rich, man. So when that first came out, I got lots of people saying, hey, you look like that guy. I don't think my beard is quite as red now as it was then, but yeah. Richmond, north of Richmond. I don't remember. I can't sing, but yeah, I know that song. He's got quite a few like good songs. There's a really good line in that song. What is it? Let me see if I can think of it. Ripped down the line, foul down the third baseline for Lindor. 1 ball and 1 strike. It has been a while since I've listened to that song. Definitely. It's like, because that was big, what, a year and a half ago? Year ago? Something like that. A little bit of angst in that song, but I like some angsty songs for sure. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lindor, 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. Nobody on. Mets are up 5-1. Thunderbrook's up to 31 pitches. What I love about this game is not just kind of some clutch hits in some key spots. Lindor fouls that one. But again, the Mets have just battled and battled consistently. Just long at bats, full counts. Juan Soto's on deck, by the way. He has a home run tonight. Lindor fouls that one back as well. Soto looks so cold. He stayed in the dugout like as long as he possibly could. Even though he's on deck, he's just trying to stay warm, like literally warm. Do you think Stanek's pitching the ninth? Is that? I haven't seen anything yet, but thanks for the heads up. Yep. And he just did it. He just made music for people. He never was trying to become a superstar. He just went out and shared the gift that he had with the world. So still 2-2. Lindor keeps fouling pitches off, and he does it once again. I love this because, right, you're up 4 runs in the top of the ninth. It's cold, it's wet, and yet here's Lindor battling every single pitch, just like Soto does, just like Pete's been doing, just like we want to see these young guys do. Rips this one down the left field line. Whoa, Correa makes a diving catch. So, nonetheless, that's a great bat by Lindor that you're not gonna notice that necessarily in the box score again as well. But that was a great at bat. I mean, that probably knocks Thunderberg out from tomorrow's game. They got him close to 35 pitches out of a relief pitcher in 2 innings. Really good. Let's see. Also, as soon as I see something official, I'll confirm Stanek in the ninth, Darren. So if you haven't yet done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe. We're on the journey to 200 subscribers. What's our current number at? We are currently at 177, so we're 23 subscribers to go. My ultimate goal will be to try to beat 500 subs by the All-Star break. That's my goal. We'll see if we can do it. We're going to try to push out lots of good content. Sounds good. Make sure you're safe out there midnight for sure. So we are at commercial break. We're headed to the bottom of the ninth inning. Twins' last opportunity. I'm just waiting to officially see. And there it is. It has officially come through from my end. So thank you, Darren, for that heads up. You were on it before any of these outlets were on it for me. But there it officially is. Ryan Stanek coming in for Reed Garrett. Garrett had a great night. But we're going to give our rock-solid relief performance. We're giving Rally Pig the night off. It's cold. It's rainy. But we're going to give the rock-solid relief performance here tonight to Huascar Brazaban. 2 innings. 2 innings of shutout ball. So that was good. Awesome. I didn't catch that, Darren, so thank you. Appreciate it. That's the power of community for sure. All right, here we go. Ugh. All right, Willie Castro swings at the first pitch. You think the Twins are going to come up here just hacking and just get out of the inning? Five to one Mets. Bottom of the ninth inning. Twins last chance. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. We'll hang around for a little post game afterwards here tonight too. We'll update you guys on all the scores. That ball is shot foul down the third baseline. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Castro. Called strike 3. There's 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. Here's the pitch. It's going to be 1 ball and no strikes to Wallner. Matt Wallner, I believe it is. Is that right? Yeah, Matt Wallner. That ball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Twins are trying to put together some sort of rally. And that's low, ball 3. So Stanek is having a little trouble finding the strike zone for Wallner here. Called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. This Cubs Padres series is going to be very interesting to watch. Now, my big question is a couple things. One, did the Cubs just have the Dodgers number because they played them so much? They played all those games in Japan and other things, or are the Cubs a team that we need to start thinking about as a top tier contender? That's one thing I'm highly curious about. So, Padres are going for their 4th straight shutout here tonight. But we'll update you all those scores in a second. Wallner loops 1 into left field, and that is going to fall in for a single. The Twins' 3rd hit of the day. So it's a 1-out base runner for the Twins. Still down 4. It's a good job of hitting by Wallner there. First pitch is a ball in the dirt. Stanek got behind. Did I say Garrett? Sorry, I might have said Garrett before. But anyway, Stanek got behind the last batter. Now getting behind here. Edwin Diaz is not getting ready yet, but he's like stretching a little bit just in case. Yeah, Stanek needs to calm down here. You just need to go after these guys. Can't hit a 4-run home run with only 1 runner on base. So your defense has played well. Gray fouled that one away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just almost a Met. Carlos Correa almost became a Met. By the way, timeout. Mets hitting woes. Carlos Correa is hitting 155 on the season. That's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Byron Buxton hitting 179. You know, you look at the Twins lineup, it's a lot of the same types of batting averages the Mets have. The difference is the Mets have had stellar pitching combined with good defense, and the Twins have had just some atrocious defense. Three balls and two strikes here to Carlos Correa with Stanek pitching. Let's see if Stanek can either get the double play or the strikeout here. Correa pops that one. It's going to fall barely foul, just a couple feet foul. That was a little scary for a second there because if that fell in, that could have easily been a double. Just the way everyone it was tailing away from everybody and everything. So Mets were fortunate that that one did not fall in there, but still 3-2 count. So you just gotta pitch them strikes. I wouldn't even want to get to a 3-ball count here. The sooner you can get this game over, the sooner you get warmed up. Correa rips this one, but not super deep. Nimmo gets under it, makes the catch, throws the ball in. There's 2 outs. Trevor Larnach is going to come up, representing the Twins' last chance, at least to stay alive in this game. He is 1 for 1 with a single, 2 walks, and a run. So you got to expect he's willing to be patient. He'll take another walk here, and Stanek's been a little wild. So I'd like to see Stanek just get ahead right here. First pitch strike. And he does. Very nice. It's a good pitch. So as soon as the game is over, we're going to take a quick little break, but I'll be right back with you. Like, we're not going to leave the stream or anything. I'm just going to do a quick little break just to check on everybody, make sure everybody made it to bed. No balls and 2 strikes to Larnach. Here, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning, Mets are winning 5-1. There's a decent little Mets crowd out there tonight. That one's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So as soon as the game is over, I'm just gonna take like a 30-second to 1-minute break, and then we'll come back. We'll do a full wrap of the game, scoreboard update. That's in the dirt as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Remember, like, we're 1 pitch away, but also you walk this guy or he gets on, then Edwin Diaz is probably going to warm up in the bullpen. You'd rather not even warm Diaz up, even if he doesn't have to come in the game. Really want to see Stanek get Larnach right here. Challenge him. There, got him. Called strike 3. That's a great way to end the game. It's the first time Larnach was retired tonight, and the Mets got it at just the right time. All right, I'm going to be right back with you guys. Hold on. We're going to do a full – actually, you know what? I don't need to do this. Let's do the scoreboard update. I'll just throw the scoreboard up so you guys can start looking it over, and then I'll go over everything with you. Then we'll go look over the headlines of the day. It was a good game. Nice, solid performance. Everybody just did what they were supposed to do. Clay Holmes did what he was supposed to do. The bullpen did what they were supposed to do. The Mets hitters did what they were supposed to do. I mean, it was just, I don't want to say perfect, but ideal. Don't want that. All right, I'm going to throw the scoreboard on the screen. I'll be right back with you here. I'm going to just check on a couple things, make sure everybody's good in the house, and then we'll go through the scores of the day, as well as any highlights from baseball, and I'll be right back with you. So give me like 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back with you here. Thank you for being patient. Like I said, I was kind of coming straight in from Little League practice tonight. We came in 5th inning, and as soon as we got on, the Mets went crazy. So we didn't even need Rally Pig tonight. And but we're going to go ahead and we'll give you the full scoreboard update for the night. So you can kind of see everything. The Cardinals beat the Astros 8-3. The Cardinals have been winning some games here. Definitely a team keeping an eye on. The Padres are beating the Cubs 1-0. That is the top of the 4th inning. The Padres are going for their 4th consecutive shutout, which is crazy. I think that's only been done a couple of times in Major League history. I'll have to look up that. The Dodgers are beating the Rockies 2-0. That's in the middle of the 2nd inning with the Dodgers coming up. Nationals lost to the Pirates 10-3. I gave them honorable mention as a team to watch because this is how James Wood was doing, and that's how they rewarded me. But to be fair, they ran into Paul Skeens, so that is what it is. The Giants beat the Phillies 10-4. So with that, the Mets have a 2-game lead in the division now. Phillies are 9-7. Mets are 11-5. The Tampa Bay Rays took the Red Sox to the woodshed today, 16-1. Don't tell Savage Batman because he's going to be upset about something regarding that. The Yankees beat the Royals 4-1. Braves took care of the Blue Jays 8-4. Of course, the Mets beat the Twins 5-1. And Tariq Skubal and the Tigers beat the Brewers 9-1. So I'm going to just click over to news, see if there's anything. Any big news? Skeens versus Cruz. They square off for the first time. All right, so there's that. Yankees hit 4 solo home runs. All right, 9-run, 27-minute 3rd inning for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm not going to read all these articles. Austin Riley homers twice for the Braves. Riley's been on fire to start this season, so I'm not in the camp of counting the Braves out yet. You know, they're obviously not a top 10 team right now, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen this play, hopefully this will let me show it to you guys. Where Vientos got hit in the butt. Let me see if I can show it really quick. I hope this might be a little choppy, but you'll get the gist of it. This was the play where Vientos got hit in the butt. They threw it to second and no one was there. So, anyway, if you didn't see that, that was kind of a funny play from the Mets game. All right, this was MLB's. I'll share MLB's power rankings here really quick as well. Of course, MLB has the Dodgers ranked number 1, coming off of a 16-0 loss, and with the Padres obviously being better than the Dodgers to start the season. Like, it's not even close. And they sell the Phillies number 3. These power rankings that these mass market things do, they're so slow to move teams up and down, especially early in the season when you should be kind of quick to realize, like, oh, now they have the Mets higher than I have them. That's because I have some other teams higher. I have the Angels higher. I have the Giants higher than the Mets. I don't know how you can have the Giants ranked number 6 in baseball with like the 3rd best record in baseball, and like barely ahead of the Yankees, who they just took 2 out of 3 from in New York. We got the Tigers, which is fine. Rangers, that's fine. And then the Diamondbacks. And of course, like on the Rangers story, all they talked about how like Jacob deGrom was worrisome. So anyway, I'm not going to go through that whole list. Suffice to say, I don't agree with a lot of it that they have. If you want to see my power rankings, it is already pinned for you in the chat, or I'll put it on the screen if you're watching on replay. The Mets take home a 5-1 win tonight. And so that is it. Oh, and the Cubs have scored 2 runs, so the Padres shutout streak is over. Padres shutout streak is over at 3 games. All right, so Pete Alonso got on base every at-bat today, I believe. Juan Soto hit a 2-run homer. Luis Angel Acuna got on the bases and created mayhem. Mark Vientos got hit in the butt. I think that's kind of basically it. That's what you need to know. Clay Holmes was good. Got into a little trouble, but got out of it with only giving up 1 run, which gave the Mets a chance to retake the lead for him, which they did, and awarded him with the win. Mets bullpen was good as always. I mean, there's really not much else to say, but that's basically everything that we have for the game. So with that in mind, I think we're going to get rocking and rolling. I'm going to head to bed here soon, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out, and we will talk to you again soon. Have a great night, everybody. Let's go Mets, baby.